If you think this show is going to be all about earnings, well, you're kind of right. We definitely got GM up $5.50. I mean, when's the last time you saw that? We'll cover all the earnings, but there's other news out there. It's this CoreWeave deal going to go through. Is there Beyond Meat? Is that an investable company? It's just short squeeze time. We'll discuss that. JR Romero, 835. We'd love his perspective on the markets. We got a full house today. Triple D is back. It's pre-market prep on a Tuesday.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. This is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
All right, good morning, traders and investors. A little movement overnight, but we're up. We're up 3 3/4 handles, 67.7750. The buck is up, putting some pressure on gold, silver, and Bitcoin. It's up 26 cents. TLT up a fraction, up 12 cents, 91.67. Crude cannot catch a bid, down 33 cents, 67.50. If you're waiting for the rug pull in the GLD, you got it today, down nearly $12, 391.26. SLV, well, that's in the red too, 4.5%, $2.19, 45.39. And Bitcoin joining in the decline, down $2,260 at 108,800. Triple D, 1 day away from the markets. How did you handle it?
I don't know. I come back and nothing's working though. My positions don't work.
No?
The door is locked. I couldn't get into my bathroom. It's got kids got locked all out. Everything just falls apart when I'm not here. So I've decided I can't take any more days off.
I agree.
1 day off, everything falls apart. So I'm here now. No more days off ever again.
How's Vegas? How's Vegas?
It seemed busy. Like, I haven't been to Vegas in probably 7 years, so it's hard for me to get a feel, really boots on the ground, but it didn't feel like a recession, I'll tell you that much. It felt like there was a lot going on. Like, the strip was packed. Again, we went out there Saturday night, so I mean, Saturday night's always going to be busy. How is it during the week? That's a question, but it seemed busy. Airport was busy. Flight was full. It seemed busy. So boots on the ground, there's no recession to be found, at least in Vegas, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. What about the markets? You know what you missed, Dennis? You missed a rally. We rallied yesterday. Are you surprised?
I'm in shock, because we just don't have rallies. No, obviously I'm not in shock. So Friday night, I put on a bunch of positions, had a whole pile of momentum names, tech names, and you come in. I'm logging in Sunday night and then Monday morning, and they're all up. Everything was up, predictably up. So it was a good weekend for me trading, even though, I took a day off from not being here. I still traded. So I actually didn't, and maybe that was the case. If I didn't trade, maybe the markets would have went down. But I was holding the markets up, be along the Teslas and the Netflixes and the Robloxes and all those other momentum names over the weekend. They all worked again. So, I mean, we've been talking about the weekend trades there. It seems to be very consistent. So, yeah, markets strong. Tech strong. Interesting day yesterday, though, because we actually, after the bell, saw a lot of names that hadn't been participating in, I mean, Momo names taking a breather. And what actually picked up the baton was big mega cap tech. Apple, unbelievable day. Bring up the Apple chart here, Joe, because this was an unbelievable day for Apple. Had a couple of upgrades moving it, but it showed a little bit of life on Friday. And then yesterday, blast off central. What's so impressive when you start getting mega cap tech moving higher is because it's the market cap moves. I mean, you get these smaller names. And yeah, these are big moves from percentage basis. But when you start talking in Apple, moving up 5, 6, 7%, the market cap creation here is enormous. And Apple had been taking a breather. Meta had been taking a breather. Meta had been struggling here, really, down near the lows. And what had happened, really over the last couple months is mega cap tech kind of taking a breather, and all those other little Momo names, like the nuclear names and the AI names, all blasting off. That was not the case yesterday. a lot of the momentum names, and we can get into that here too, like the nuclear names, are starting to feel heavy, like Oklo. We talked about that before we left. I kind of thought like the 190 felt like upside capitulation, and now it looks like, it wants to actually break down. We get a double downgrade from SMR today. That stock ran up 3 days ago, made a new high 55, and now we're looking at $42 this morning on the double downgrade. So I know we're not following the agenda here too much. We're bouncing all over the place, but it's kind of where the conversation goes. But I just want to go back to like Apple, Meta. Like if we start seeing those stocks, Microsoft's perking up a little bit here now. I kind of like the chart there. We start seeing mega cap tech pick it up. That's going to be the driver here. And you know what? We're getting out of October, and everybody's always scared of October. We get to November. Seasonality can work in our favor here. You never know what the Trumpster has planned, but I mean, big moves here for Apple yesterday, and some of these other mega cap tech stocks are starting to perk up.
Yeah, this Apple move, I mean, I looked at it, I'm like, Loop Capital, and I can't think who the other person was, and I'm like, well, they're in for what? I mean, and then you just looked, and this thing just gapped up and just blew people away. That's one of the biggest moves we've seen in Apple in quite some time. Only trading down 23 cents today. I think there were some positive comments also out there by Goldman Sachs. But what do you do when you make a new all-time high? That's all you can think. It's 62.24, that all-time closing high from yesterday. Let's see what the volume. The volume was almost double the volume that you had on Friday. So, yeah, I mean, just think about the scenario here. Here we are, whatever. We had the little dip. We're back up. We're back up at all-time highs here, not giving anything back today. And then you have a big on like Apple revving its jets and maybe Microsoft and, just passing the baton again here. So very impressive move to Apple, and it looks like it's still holding on to those gains.
Yeah. So individual stock news, there's a pile of it here, but I'm going to start with somewhere where I didn't think we were going to start here this morning. Short squeeze central in Beyond Meat. It had a big day yesterday. It was an 75-cent stock. It has a huge move yesterday. Goes up to $1.47 on the short squeeze. These memesters, when you get companies going out of business, that's where they really like to come in and save the day. While Beyond Meat looked like it was on the death march there, going from 2 to 3 or 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 to just pennies, and you think, okay, it's going to go off the board. But not so fast. Memester Central loves to save stocks. It has traded 111 million shares already this morning and is trading up another 38%. Are we going to start getting into short squeeze central name here? Like the company, separate the company from the stock here, because the company is in real trouble. But we saw with GameStop, GameStop was in trouble at one time too. And then the memesters come in, then they start obviously raising cash through stock offerings, and GameStop turned their entire company around because of the memesters. Is that possible with Beyond Meat? Maybe too early to tell, but the memesters sure as hell are trying the last couple of days.
You know how much traded yesterday? 1.2 billion shares traded yesterday.
That's got to be right near the top of traded stocks.
Yeah.
How many other individual stocks trade 1.2 billion? You have that information? Maybe I'm throwing you under the bus on that. That's a lot of shares. So the momentum does continue, and I'm going to gather it could even possibly place more. It could do possibly more shares today. It's already traded 112 million at 8:09 in the morning. We haven't even opened. We're still an hour and a half. This thing's going to trade over 200 million shares before this thing opens, which is crazy. The question is, like, do they do an offering? Well, if I'm that company, I'm trying to figure out, yeah, I think so. I think this is, you use that to your advantage. So you let it rally a little bit, and then you definitely try to raise cash because, they're not selling enough non-meat burgers here to keep the company floating. But maybe the memesters will give them some money here. So we will see, but this is impressive here.
Major debt restructuring plans. This was the scoop from 2 to 1.
Dare I look yesterday?
No, I'm talking about back on when you had the big down day when it went. Yeah, 201 to $1.03, and then you spent a couple days under $1. I'll just look at this. If you were looking for a gap fill, like this was your plan. Like I'm buying this, I'm buying hand over fist, and maybe they'll come out and say something positive, and maybe it will fill the gap. Well, you're getting that opportunity right now. I'll say 2 to the 50-day moving average at 2.31 potential resistance, but it's hard because once the momentum gets going, and this is a $1 or $2 stock, the people with the smaller account, I mean, they can buy.
They love those penny stocks.
Yeah.
Retail loves those little penny stocks. I like these little stories they try to save. They did do so. This was over the weekend there, and I missed this headline, obviously, because I was in Las Vegas. So they did do an exchange, like 1.15 billion zero coupon convertible notes. So they did obviously find, a little bit of money there, it looks like there. So doesn't look like, there's any imminent bankruptcy here. So that might have been the catalyst that kickstarted it yesterday. But now it's off to the races. And now if you're short this thing, and the short interest is probably really high on a name like this, I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. If you go to that highshortinterest.com, which is always where I check like the retail, often went there back during the short squeezes of 2021, Beyond Meat is number one. 42% of the float, it says, is short. So, I mean, it's number one on the list. Number two is Hertz. And then there's like NUKK, PLCE, a bunch of other retail, darling names there too with these high short interest names. So they like to go into those names. Usually these stocks just leak, but they have their moments. We know, it seems like once a quarter we get into these short squeeze days here. I just wonder if that might spread. So think of this like, I'm going to use this analogy here. So when you have, one stock that's heavily shorted, short squeeze central, like Beyond Meat, and it's popping 40, 60, 80%. It's like somebody gets a cold, they got a sniffly nose, they're coughing a little bit. The question is, does it spread? So if it starts to spread, then you got to start looking at pages like highshortinterest.com and looking at those other names, because it never lasts and never. So these aren't like, you're not looking at these usually as investments. It's usually as trades. So if you put your trading hat on though, and you're seeing, a stock like Beyond Meat, go up 150% in 2 days, you start thinking, I maybe not want to be short some of these other high short interest names here too. So I'd say just be cautious if you're short those high short interest names right now, because when you see one of them go, sometimes it does spread.
I mean, and then we'll just throw this in here, and I think everyone in our listening audience, knows this. When you're shorting a $1 stock or 70-cent stock,
hell of a lot of risk.
It's all risk. It's all risk for
all
what
risk.
Reward? And I mean, you can take, you can take in that 50 cents or that 70 cents or that 80 cents, banking on it going going down, going under. But man, risk is a 4-letter word, and shorting the stock at $1, $2, $3, $4, the same thing. You have, as opposed to going long there. I'm not saying that was a good thing to do, but if you're short these things at these levels, think about your risk reward and your parameters, and maybe your money's spent better somewhere else.
Well, I do think there's tradable opportunities here though. So we'll keep an eye. You mentioned one, and while we can mention a lot of different names, you can just go to this list, highshortinterest.com. There's a whole bunch of them, but just keep an eye. Like AMC's not moving. It's barely moving. GameStop is down near the lows. It's barely moving. So this is not spreading yet. We can clearly see it's not spreading yet, but does it have the potential to spread? Bed Bath & Beyond was another one too, which is back, triple BY. I'd keep an eye on these names. If they start to show like there's volume coming in there, that can change things. Right now, it looks like it's just Beyond Meat, but it can spread. So keep an eye on those other names as well.
Yeah, GME down 21 cents so far. This is a Beyond Meat story.
And GameStop's a tough one because it's more of a crypto play now here. It's got the same business model going on. It seems like as MSTR, where obviously they were doing offerings and buying Bitcoin. They're getting into collectibles a little bit too, though, GameStop. So they're trying to reinvent themselves. They're trying to do some new things, which, I kind of like. I've been saying, they have like 12 or 13 bucks in cash, and they do have a very recognizable brand. So I wouldn't say GameStop, I wouldn't throw it in the same category as like trying to survive. GameStop is here. Like they got cash, they're in good position. That's all thanks to the memester though. Like that's like the story. Like GameStop is like the story of how memesters got together and saved the company. They're the real story here. But I don't know like if Beyond Meat's going to turn to that. I don't know if any of these other things are going to turn to that, or if they're just going to be short squeezes here. Joel, you're just breaking up a little bit. Maybe shut down anything else you're using. Your bandwidth, I think it's you. Brentster, you can confirm. But Joel's video is giving him trouble here now too. and he's breaking up a little bit here. So
I had
you
2
hear me
stream
okay?
yards going. I just closed one
Yeah,
down.
start shut down. You got 2 StreamYards going. You probably got all kinds of stuff running in the background. You can't be running that much stuff in the background with these Intel processors. Oh, that's a dig at Intel. You know, you're at a Dell. What processor do you have in that Dell?
Uh,
Is it an
a good
Intel?
one.
A
A
good
good
one.
one.
It's not that good. It's breaking up.
I don't even know. I don't know.
Intel chart, actually. We just brought it up here. Sorry, Intel, we were picking on you. U.S. government doesn't like that. Stock perking up here again. I like it when they run, and then they're sitting here, and it kind of looks perky, and it looks like it wants to make another run here again. So it's interesting, how we've had tech, certain stocks like we were talking this morning, like the Oklos and the nuclear names, taking a pause. Some of the quantum names taking a pause, like IONQ has been crushed. RGTI, you can see the money where it's all flowing into these old names. Now it's kind of coming out of there and it's moving back into some other, old tech school names here, like Intel. And obviously we talked Apple here already, but you can clearly see rotation station within tech itself. So that's interesting.
Yeah, Intel does report this week, so keep that in mind. Perhaps a little pre-earnings run up near the high of the move. So keep an eye. I think Intel is later in the week. So we'll see. We'll see what they've done with that government money. Let's see if they come out with some new chips. Let's hear it from Intel later in the week.
Okay. Let's go to the earnings parade here. And I'm going to start in the D with General Motors. It's a huge morning for General Motors. Brentster. We haven't brought the Brentster in here yet. Brentster, come in here right now. I haven't seen you in like a couple days here. I miss you. Come
Triple
in
D.
here. What's going on, buddy? I'll ask you how your weekend was because I didn't hear how your weekend was. So I know it's 3 days ago, but how was the weekend?
My weekend was good. I went and visited a little neighborhood in Cleveland. Had a nice little weekend with some friends. I'm back in the D, enjoying some nice fall rain.
Yeah, how was Cleveland? Cleveland coming around? Is that rebuilding?
Cleveland's
I know it's had struggles, but
yeah. So I had to look it up. Cleveland's, maybe like a 350,000 population city. I mean, it's not a small city, but it's got like a towny feel. Like little nice little neighborhoods. Seemed cool to me. Seemed busy to me. Seemed like Cleveland was doing fine. I don't know if we got any fans out there in Cleveland, but Richard, my friends and I were saying like all the time, Cleveland rocks. I want to go back.
Nice. Cleveland
Wait
rocks.
a second. You went to Cleveland and you didn't tell me?
See, Joel, I gotta. I like
with
some
Cleveland
things.
Cliffs. Did you see the move Cleveland Cliffs made yesterday?
It was all because the Brentster was there.
Yes.
We got to know these things ahead of time when you're heading to Cleveland so we can go along Cleveland because obviously Cleveland Cliffs is off its earnings reports. But that was it. Did you see Cleveland Cliffs when you were there?
I smelled it.
I smelled it.
Definitely smelled it.
Cleveland Cliffs.
Yep, definitely smelled it.
Worst tangent ever here with smelling Cleveland Cliffs. So we'll go off of that for a second. General Motors, back to the D. GM is having itself a morning. This is the biggest morning for General Motors in a very long time. We've seen General Motors have pops before, though, and they often don't hold. But this one wants to continue to go on higher here. We know the PE is just ridiculously cheap. But talk to us about these earnings because General Motors must still be doing pretty well.
Earnings look really strong. They reported 280 versus a 231 estimate, a good almost 50-cent beat there. Sales 48.6 billion versus a 45 billion estimate. Another big beat there. And then they raised their fiscal 25 adjusted earnings guidance pretty substantially from a prior range $8.25 to $10 to a new range $9.70 to $10.50. Analysts are all the way down around $9.50. So some really strong guidance out of GM, in my opinion.
Huge pop, up 12%. I've never made a lot of money buying General Motors up 12% before. I have made money shorting it when it pops that high, but I don't know. Like we've talked about this for a long time too, and the value trade has perked up. We've seen that, in the last few weeks, it's kind of perking up. Interest rates going down. There's a lot of reasons to think that, hey, General Motors, which trades like 7 times earnings here, this move might actually be sustainable. It's definitely got valuation support. So, Joel, give me your thoughts here. Are you buying General Motors up 11%? I'm not, but are you?
I'm just shocked. This is double the expected move?
Double.
Double.
We need CC Liquidator. What do you do when you have a stock that's moved double the expected move? You have a few people caught for sure. You have a few market makers caught for sure.
And you know what the catalyst is for this?
Earnings.
No. The performance marketing lead at Chevrolet.
Huh?
Dana.
Oh, Dana's the one that's here now. Your daughter.
Yes.
Well, Joel, you guys gave the inside scoop on
I
this one
don't-
too.
And I didn't want
When you get employees like Dana over there, then you're off to the races.
She was
So
at
she's turning this-
Cadillac. She was at
she's turning this
Cadillac.
entire
And then
company around.
Chevy stole her. Chevy
Ah,
wanted her. And there they are. They're selling those internal combustion engines here. I mean, historical data says this move will not hold.
it does.
I said that
Unfortunately,
at
it does.
$4 up. I said that at $5 up to myself. I said that $6 up to myself. Now $7 up 6 3/4. That's 11.6%. That's near its all-time high. 67.21 is the all-time high. You haven't hit that yet. I just, I'm not shorting is evil. It's a bad thing. But if you had some targets in this area, maybe you think about taking half of them or something. I mean, this is just an unbelievable move. Option traders are scrambling. I'd keep an eye on the pre-market high. I have no idea where this is going to open. I mean, there has to be a selling. Well, there's not much on the book. I mean, oh man, if you had the 60 calls, 61 calls, 62 calls, 63 calls, congratulations to you. That premium that you're going to get off the open today is going to be juicy. So let's keep an eye. All-time high 67.21. That was back in January of 22.
Wow. Big move. Ford sympathy move here this morning, obviously. I don't know when Ford reports. Oh, Thursday. I do know when they report. They report Thursday. So you wonder if you're going to get a similar move here. I would not fade the Ford move. Up 2%, 2.66% here. That's kind of scary because it's been a consolidation station here for a little bit, and this is a catalyst here too. Stellantis, obviously European STLA, so it doesn't always do the same, but it's trading up just slightly here on these earnings as well. What does this mean for Tesla? You have General Motors with very strong earnings, boots on the ground. I've seen some few pictures and people sending me pictures. And the Tesla lots are looking a little bit more empty here. I mean, obviously we know it's not been valued on the cars, but I'll tell you, if the car sales are good, that could be a catalyst to kickstart it as well. So Tesla reports Wednesday night.
Ooh.
Stock is perking up. I kind of like the chart. I'm going to ask our technical analyst, Joel Elconin, what he thinks about it as well. I have been on the record to say I think Tesla could be $500 by the end of the year. I've said that. Stock is kind of down from where, because I said around 450. It went down a little bit. It's coming back up, though. I'm still long Tesla in the long-term account. Give me your technical thoughts on
453.
Tesla.
You got room to 453 here. That's a double top.
Well, that could be today.
Yep. That's $7 away. But just for a note, I mean, the reason that GM had such good earnings was because not of sale of EVs, it was internal combustion engines. Okay. Tesla doesn't sell any of those. So how that's going to, it's all about your robo-taxi, Dennis. It's all about that. I mean, I think the car sales will have some impact, but we know what's coming. It's robo-taxis for all. So I think that's going to be the focus of the earnings report. Not sure what the car sales are going to be, but what is it? When are they rolling those things out? They're going to roll them out for Thanksgiving next year, 26, 27. I think that's what you need for Tesla as opposed to the car sales.
Continuing on the earnings parade here, Coca-Cola. We're going to go classic value stocks here. I don't want to keep the Brentster here and keep digging these earnings up for us, but Coke's a big move for Coke. You say, 2.6%, but that's a big move for Coke. And we've seen a little bit of the staples been coming off, but in the last few days, they're starting to perk up here a little bit too. Give us those numbers for Coke. Let's talk Coke here just for a second here, Brentster.
Coke Q3 earnings 82 cents, beat by 4 cents. Sales coming in 12.5 billion. The analysts were at 12.4 billion. Kind of like a modest beat there. I am looking for some guidance here real quick. While I am digging for that, Joel, take us over to the chart.
Oh, hit 71 right on the kisser. You had a couple highs at 71. We'll see how high. I mean, the paper's starting to come in, probably open. If you could get a cheap open here, like in under 70 or something, maybe you could get a pop. But once again, I think I had the expected move in Coca-Cola, which never moved. Expected move $1.85 here. So right there, top of the expected move. 71 is above it. We'll see what the paper does on the open with Coca-Cola on the comeback trail. And if you were following the lead from Pepsi, Pepsi, it's been moving up nicely since its earnings report. So people drinking their soda pops.
General Electric. We're going to all the classics here. GE
Yeah, this is
Aerospace here. This one's been in consolidation station here too, just kind of hanging out, getting ready for the earnings. Very sleepy. We had a good run in July, August, September, and then just $300 September, still $300 going to the earnings. We are now resolving ourselves to the upside, Mr. Brentster. If you got the GE Aerospace earnings, we will take those as well.
I do have them $1.66 versus $1.44 estimate. Sales also beating. Nice beat here, about 12 billion. Analysts were down around 10.4 billion. Also raising some fiscal year 25 earnings guidance. Prior range 560 to 580. Now 6 to 620. Analysts are down around 590. Shares of GE up a couple percent here this morning.
I like the chart going in. I don't know about coming out here. You got to talk to me about technicals here at this point in time. But when stocks are making new all-time highs, and I believe, can we say that on GE? Is this officially a new all-time high? Because it's so confusing to look at it, because obviously they spun off all the other business. We know GE Vernova, GEHC. You got to add all those up and figure it all out to get back to all-time highs. But this is the legacy, GE company there and the aerospace division here now. Can we say, though, with everything added up, that this is a new all-time high?
I don't know. I think
it's hard to add all that stuff up and figure it all out. Reverse split was in there.
Yes.
There's a lot of things to figure out.
GEHC is part of it, right? GE Healthcare Technologies, right? Didn't you get some of that stock? As opposed to the Coca-Cola and the General Motors, this is not trading near the expected move. The expected move in GE was $15.50. So pretty muted here. We did get a spike over to 312 in the pre-market. All-time high is 307.25. So busting out and not anywhere near the expected move. So let's see if you could get the expected move up another $8. That would be 318. If it starts to fade on the downside, the top of yesterday's range is way down. It's not that far. 305.43 for General Electric. But no doubt, one of the greatest reverse splits in the history of the markets. I mean, unbelievable what this has done since the day.
Yeah, just the separation of all those businesses, really, like you always call financial engineering. This is like the like what everybody wants, the dream scenario, where you separate all these businesses and they all thrive. I mean, GE Vernova has been unbelievable a stock here, obviously, since the spinoff. GEHC has lagged, but so has all healthcare stocks, so it's hard to just pick on them. But then the aerospace division of GE has been just on fire here as well. So it's one of those where the combination of the parts was worth a hell of a lot more than the whole.
I mean, if you look at the GEV at 600, I mean, this is like $1,000, right? If you take the GEV, the GE.
It's hard because it did the reverse split too, though, GE. So you got to take that too. Like when you go your GE chart, what does it show? Like how far? Like you can't go back far enough to see it. Maybe from the reverse split, because GE reverse split. So yeah, if you keep going further back, you go back to 2000. I think you'll find.
I don't get 2000 on here.
You only get to 2007 on TradeStation.
No, it goes 20 years. So
20 years.
Yeah.
20 years should be enough, but it's not because GE made its all-time high in the year 2000. So there's a few stocks still from tech bubble, days back in the day when that tech bubble burst. And GE wasn't even a tech stock that never came back. I think when you add up all the parts, though, I think it has. So we'll go with that. Earnings tonight, we're going to get Netflix. I want to preview it here quickly because Netflix obviously is going to be watched. It's a stock that's lagged tremendously here. Been kind of just sitting here doing nothing for 3 months. It perks up yesterday, which is not a coincidence. We've been talking about Netflix and the earnings potential for an earnings run up here is exactly what we are seeing here. So in the STN room, we're correct here. Up $50 yesterday. I think it's up another $7 here today. So again, those earnings run-ups trades just continue to work. NFLX, though, going into the earnings, do we have the expected move? Do you have it in
Yes,
front
we
of you,
do.
Joel?
Yes,
What is
we
it?
do.
I'm ready to get down.
90.
$90.
Mm-hmm.
I'd fade the 90. I know it's sleepy, and I know we just saw General Motors blow away its expected move, but I feel like Netflix volatility is coming in. Like I feel like it's been contracting. And obviously the stock trades at a pretty lofty valuation, so things can happen here. But I'd be a fader of the 90.
How about fading that
that?
straddle? How about fade?
I know that's the way to play it. And every time I do that, then they have reverse splits. That's what would happen, or not reverse split. It would come out, do a 10-for-1 split or something, and the stock explodes. And that could happen. I mean, it's a $1,200 stock, so I'm not trying to start rumors here, but that's what happened to me when I wrote the straddle on Apple years ago. They came out with the earnings, and then they raised the dividend, and then now it's a split. I'm like, oh, and it was halted at the time. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so dead on this. And the thing went up 4 times the expected move, and I said, never selling the expected move straddle again. Never again. That probably cost me a lot more because if you continue to do that over the long run, you usually make money selling options. But Netflix, I would be fading it. So I'd be more of a seller of the 90 than a buyer.
Brent, I just want to tell you that straddle that he sold, we were in the old office. I'm talking.
Oh.
That's how long.
This is 15 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, I think
maybe 12 years ago. That's funny.
They raised, I don't know, when they initiated the dividend, stock buyback, Warren bought stock. I mean, it was just
everything went. That was the worst fade. That was a big losing day for me that day. Yeah, I was like, no way Apple's going to move $25 on the earnings. No way. I'm selling the strap. And it ended up going $80. And I'm like, huh. Yeah, that was not a good day.
Des, I just want to go back, and I was going to ask you at the top of the show. So were you doing all that trading from your phone, or did you bring an iPad? If you did it from
traded out from my phone. I did it from my phone.
You got to be kidding.
It's awful trading from your phone, though. If you're a professional trader and you're sitting there trading on your phone, I feel naked. I feel like I'm missing so much
why don't you get a laptop?
Well, I wasn't trying to go out there and just be in Vegas and be a full-time trader in Vegas. I had some positions, so I traded Friday night.
Bravo.
I had to trade out of it. So you've got to be able to shut it off every once in a while, Joe. You cannot. If you're going on vacation and you actually have to trade like you're trading at home, that's not a vacation. So I had positions from Friday night that I needed to trade out of. I can easily do that from my phone. Not easily, it takes me a little bit of time. It's slower and stuff, but you can do it. So I was trading out for the most part. So I traded out Sunday night, Monday morning. So I wasn't really entering new trades, although I did do a few from the airport because I was bored on Monday night, which
I just can't imagine you doing all those trades from your phone. I mean, but
if you're trading out, but I don't trade. So, and this is an interesting conversation here too, is I don't trade 300, 400, 500 positions anymore. I'm not trading that many stocks. I might be trading 30, 40, overnight. Maybe I got 60 or 70 if it's a big night, but I used to have 1,000 positions, trying to manage it. But that was when I was doing algorithmic trading too. So I'm not just doing that anymore. I'm all point and click now. Why did I move to point and click? You can't compete with the algos and algorithmic trading. No way. And like we talk about all the time, there's so many stupid algos out there. The human being has a huge edge at point. The point and click trader, hey, you want to clip something, Brentster? Clip this.
Yes.
And I want to bring, maybe even have, let's go bring Jay Romero in here because he's going to have something to say about this too. But I'm going to bring this in. Runner guest, I want to bring T3 Tuesday into this conversation. So I want to know what they have to say. JR, it's been a while. We're back. Good friend of the show for so long. We have T3 Tuesdays back, and JR is. I was going to get into this conversation here. I might as well just start you right up because, you know, for so
We
I
got a
did
little
algorithmic
feedback,
trading.
Dennis. We got a little feedback.
We're getting feedback? I don't hear feedback. Brentster, can you confirm? Sounds good to me. Oh, I do hear a little bit of feedback. Maybe JR is we'll just figure out what's
There
happening.
goes. He got it.
Yeah, you got something running in the background. We're
No,
getting a little
it's
bit of
good.
feedback from the show. In any regard. So, Jerry, you can hear me. So, I did algorithmic trading back in the day. I have pretty much moved to pure point and click because I feel like there are so many stupid algorithms out here that if you actually have a brain like we do, the humans have a brain, there are edges to just be trading against some of these dumb algorithms out there. I feel like the point and click trader is back. JR, now you're on mute because you were muting for the feedback. But yeah, let's hear what you have to say about this.
Some of these algos are so dumb, you have to wonder who's writing them.
Yeah.
It's like free money. It's like playing whack-a-mole where it just stays up and you can hit it over the head with a hammer. Absolutely. Yeah. Especially on some of these earnings and news flow reports, they're just getting it completely wrong, taking up liquidity or down liquidity on the bid to exaggerated levels where you're just sitting there and going, what are these people thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're not even people, it's machines. But what are the people thinking that are running these machines?
That's what I mean, yeah.
I've been saying this in the STN room in our room for the last few months here. I'm seeing a little bit less algorithmic action on the earnings because it's so unpredictable that you're actually seeing humans, having to participate a little bit more in the price discovery process here. Yes. It's like they're getting worse. And I wonder if there is some AI trying to trade and AI is just not ready to trade. Like it may be one day it replaces all of us and Skynet comes and it's the end of the human race. That day is not today. AI is not there yet here. So I think the point and click trader is back. I think that's good for us, JR.
I think so. I think this has been, in terms of my career, these have been the 4 best months of my career ever.
Ooh, awesome.
Every day. We got the famous, I call it the T-Day, the infamous October 10th tweet that broke the market. But before that, it was such a strong narrative-driven market where the rotations were so easy to spot and there was so much liquidity from retail traders going bananas. Who needs girls gone wild when you can have retailers gone wild, bidding up Oclo $30, $40, $50 in a day. Did you guys see that tweet, by the way, where they took pictures of the offices of RGTI?
Yeah.
And they're shacks.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We covered it that day. So we actually brought the pick up and talked about it. And I'm like, this looks straight out of Boiler Room. Straight out of the movie Boiler Room where they go and they actually investigate these businesses and there's nothing there. I don't think that's the case. I think they are running businesses. But if that's their headquarters here, paying $19 billion for an apartment office, it's and then the other people saying, well, hey, Denny, Microsoft started in a garage and look where they are now. Yeah, but they weren't worth $19 billion when they were in a garage. That was the big difference here. So,
exactly.
The market has got a little bit crazy in some areas for sure. What do you do on those teams, though?
Maybe 2010, 2008, where everyone thought that by 2015 we would be 3D printing houses and cars. And so they bid up all the 3D printing stocks and everybody was going bananas. And look at, 3D now, it's just great.
$3.77. I've been waiting for it to go. If it goes bankrupt, I'm going to take over the ticker symbol.
Yeah, in the meantime, we can't even handle error correction and quantum systems. We are nowhere near there. Some people are saying the only way we're going to get quantum to work is if we send it to outer space to get rid of all the radio frequency intermission and the heat issues and the temperature issues. They haven't figured this stuff out yet. And it's amazing how the market is in such a speculative mode that all it's doing is recursively looking for the next bubble that can inflate to pop. And as long as you can watch the correlations in the market and understand the rotations, which have been really wild, you could put a trade monkey with a buy button and no sell button and you'd make money.
Oh, yeah.
in some of these names. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
We're on the line with JR Romero, Momentum Express T3 Live is at Picard Trades on Twitter. Looking at liquidity here in the market, and I want to bring this up here. You like to follow like liquidity, right? The lifeblood of the market here. You're looking
Yes.
at the CME book depth here going. This was back on October 20th. What are you seeing here, and is it a cause for concern?
I think temporarily it is. The market has. If you look at the hourly chart of the SPOOs since the 14th, it's a very odd looking chart. You have a massive liquidation break on high volume on October 10th, then an inside bar on high volume that didn't go very far. So a tremendous amount of effort was put in by the bulls. They couldn't break 67.11. They formed a point of control in the market at 67.04. The gamma levels started to, those sock puppets at the those inflatable puppets at the car dealerships that just flop back and forth. So the market was just flopping back and forth between positive and negative gamma. And then you formed a very strong topping anchor view up at 67.20. They couldn't get above that. They tried to trade above fair value on 67.56. They couldn't hack it. And then on the 16th, we put in another reversal bar. So you literally have from the 10th to the 16th, 4 back-to-back reversal bars. Then finally, it looks like on the 17th, we put in that higher pivot low everyone was looking for with more decent volume. And then for the past 2 sessions, we've gone up on very limited volume. So yesterday, everyone was going rah-rah, we're finally getting above fair value. But look at the volume on yesterday's trade on the S&P 500 futures. It was very stingy, okay? And so, what I tell my traders is you really need to keep an open mind. Obviously we have the China boogeyman with the whole tariff war, and then the shutdown. Looks like I think Hassett mentioned that we may be out of the woods and ending the shutdown this week. So you had a lot of positive sentiment, and Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft, pumping up the Nasdaq and S&P 500. But look at the volume. It was meager in comparison, and it tells me, I'm an old school Wyckoff guy, and I really like watching those retests of highs for potential distribution. And it seems to me like we may not be out of the woods here. We may be we had an initial sign of weakness there, obviously on the 10th with the Trump tweet of death, and then and then it looks to me like we're retracing that on lower volume, and obviously, if you put up technical analysis on the red corner and Donald Trump on the blue corner, okay, 2 of the big heavyweights, Trump wins every time, okay? This has been obviously a very news flow driven move. What I'm concerned about is people chasing this market on sort of a relief euphoria type of rally, and really buying what I consider to be really thin structure in terms of volume through the 67s, 70s, and 80s, and the bulls really not being able to find bidders through those levels and forming what Richard Wyckoff would call a major distribution top on a retest of the highs, and we're very I think we need to be very sensitive to that, because the market here is exposed. It's going to take one tweet or one negative headline to take us back to 66.20, maybe 55.80 in a hurry. So that seems to be my concern primarily. We are no longer in the pre-October 10th market. Everybody was saying September, we're going to come in September, seasonality, this and that. You just have to look at the tape to realize that, that probably wasn't in the cards. And now we're just in Donald Trump's market, and I'm not making a political statement here. I'm not
Facts.
being pro or con. This is just the situation we find ourselves in. And you just have to find pockets of momentum in this market so you don't get chopped up. And I find myself trading names that if I told my mother about, she would be very upset. Yesterday I found myself trading GSIT. This thing moved from, I can't even remember. One of my traders called it out. It moved from, I think, 950 to 1815 in like an hour. Crazy move. I find, and the paradigmatic thing about this market is that, if you take the more traditional, less volatile names, and yesterday was a little bit of an outlier, but if you've been trading a lot of the FANG names, the Max 7s, you've been getting chopped up. You've been getting chopped up left and right. Technical analysts in this market have not done well. You really have to be very sensitive to momentum, to tape, and to narrative. That is the most important thing in a market like this. It's been the most narrative-driven market I've seen in years. And if you're fishing in the right pond, okay, the bass they're not even biting; they're just jumping on the boat. You know what I mean? But if you find yourself on the wrong side of the tape, trading things that used to work before, this market is the church of what's happening now, and it changes venues daily. So it's just been amazing for some traders and just a complete disaster for people who have failed to adapt.
Just real quick, JR, just going back to your sentiment about the overall market. Look at the elevated VIX too, right? It has these big moves and then come back. Do you have a number? Are you just waiting for that tweet? What is what's your trigger here? Because we are back up. I mean, we are 50 handles from the all-time high. We have a lot of closes in this area. We got a lot of momentum. Stocks can go up on low volume here. Are you just waiting for that tweet, or do you have a trigger? Do you have a time? What is it? What are you looking for?
It's funny, Joel. On Sunday night we do our market prep, and one of my moderators said he looked at the chart of this booze and he said, we're bear flagging on the hourly. That probably means we'll be hitting all-time highs within 48 hours. And ultimately, like as a trader, I look at narrative and price action. Price is the only indicator that matters. So if we start to base and see price acceptance above 68.12 and a quarter, okay, then I'll get bullish on the market. It's as simple as that. I don't think you need to overcomplicate it.
What do you think of like the move yesterday with Apple? Because this was a move that 2 days ago came out of nowhere, gets a rating, runs 7%, which is just an enormous move for a company that size. Yeah, and and it perked up like you were saying before. The Mag 7's kind of been lagging a little bit. Well, starting to show a little bit of life here. Do you think it's rotation coming in here? Why all of a sudden, is it the upgrades? Are we that like needing it? Like an analyst that influential? They come in and upgrade a stock and they're like, oh my gosh, Apple, we forgot about Apple. We all got to go buy it. Is that news algos? Like why so strong yesterday?
I don't know. Apple
doesn't matter. What do you think of the strength? So what is that something you would follow now? Like, do you follow that strength, or is it something you'd be a little bit maybe second guessing and saying I don't know yet? Or thoughts on Apple?
Yeah, so thoughts on Apple. It's like we're at a CNBC broadcast. What do you think of Apple? What do you think of Apple here? So I think Apple showed a tremendous strength. I'm concerned whenever I see Apple rally, something terrible is about to happen. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like a flight to safety trade. Yeah. So I was concerned about that specifically. I'm concerned about liquidity. The overnight repo market seems broken. The VIX is doing weird things, and I'm seeing in the market profile here, I'm seeing serious flashing signs that if they fail 68.12 again, that we're going to potentially come back into the prior balance range, the chop we've been in since the 10th, and it's going to catch a lot of people offside. So that is my concern. We go gamma negative around 66, 63. Okay, that means the selling intensifies, and I think a lot of people could get seriously caught off guard. The Apple move I thought was a little confounding. I thought the move certainly didn't match the catalyst, unless I'm wrong and people really are astounded by folding phones. To me, they look like a giant empanada that fits in your front pocket, and people are going to say, is that an empanada in your pocket, Poppy? Or are you happy to see me? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
We already have folding phones. Samsung's had folding phones. Like this is not a reinvent. Like this is not like, why are we going back to that? The folding phone, I had a Motorola 1995 folding phone.
Dude, it looks like you have a King James Bible in your pocket. I don't get it, Dennis. I don't understand. But I don't have to. Here's the thing: I've mentally liberated myself. I don't have to understand the moves in the fangs. I just trade them, and in this market until now, I've been trading the forbidden fruit. You know what I mean? The stocks that I wouldn't have been caught dead trading before. RGTI 25% move on the day. Oklo had I think 18% move a couple of weeks back. Was it GSTI? I mean, I forget these tickers within 48 hours. I have the memory of an orangutan when it comes to these things, because it's the same stock, just many faces. It's purely participatory. It's like a participatory orgy where the market decides they're gonna run some relatively low float name with sometimes even a weak catalyst. I can't even begin to tell you how many times in the past month and a half we just sit there in the pre-market with a giant studded baseball bat, just waiting for a corrugated cardboard company to announce a new Ethereum treasury, and it moves 60%. Or 50% or 40%. The moves in the pre-market have been insane. The whole Ethereum treasury thing. I mean, that entire ridiculous bubble made my year. So I don't really sweat Apple making what is an enormous move for a stock of that market cap, obviously, but I don't really sweat it,
J.R. Romero from T3 Trading joining us here on Pre-Market Prep with a tinge of caution, but being mindful of the market. J.R., always great. Looking forward to having you back again soon.
It's great to see you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, JR. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Here we are, bouncing around unchanged here, up near all-time highs. Be good to we hold in here. We've had a lot of closes in this area. We're right back up. Barring any negative tweets or negative China news here, I mean, the bulls got a target here, and I'd like the number that JR gave, that 68.12 1/4. Let's see it. We're back. Yeah. We're here. We're back.
Quick word from our sponsor, folks. Hive Digital Technologies, a global leader in green power data centers for Bitcoin mining, high performance computing, and AI, operating with nearly 0.5 gigawatt of renewable energy. Hive is on track to capture 3% of the world's Bitcoin production by the end of this year. Click the scan the little QR code in the bottom right corner to learn more about Hive. There's also a link in the description of this YouTube video. Thanks again to our wonderful sponsor, Hive Digital Technologies.
Let's talk crypto for a minute here, because Bitcoin kind of had a day yesterday. Bitcoin, we've been talking about not participating in the recent rally. It's been going straight down. Nice snapback yesterday. We're selling off a little bit here again today. I mean, below moving averages here. We can talk about the 50-day or whatever moving average you have up there. It's somewhat of a concern. Momentum has definitely left the crypto building, at least for now. I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's still hodling. I'm still with you, Hive, hodling in the background, like on the Bitcoin. But I don't know. From a trading perspective here, we've still lost some momentum.
And looking at the upper right chart here, look at the predominance here of red bars. in big red bars, right? Simply meaning that the market closes below where it opens. There's some damage there. I mean, you do have some green, as opposed to this activity late in September, right? That's what it's looking, and it's well below the 50-day. But this thing, 10 grand, boom, could be back. I think the thing right now for the bulls, and I know it's $10,000 away, but as long as this 6 digits, I mean, think about it.
Holds
6 digits,
100,000.
yeah, six. A lot of people still up a lot of money in this that have been investing for years. Think it's going up. Like I just read last week that there was a lot of call activity, targeting 140, 150, by the end of the year. I'm not saying that it can't go there, but just it looks tired. I guess that's the best way to put it.
What's tired here too, we'll move from digital gold to physical gold here, because gold is having a rough day here today. I mean, we just run so far. GLD has just been running. New all-time highs again yesterday. Not today. Gold not having a day. So this sticks out like a sore thumb on a nothing doing day in the S&Ps, on a day that's very mixed. You got a few earnings reports that are moving stuff around. Gold sticks out like a sore thumb, down 3.8% on the GLD. Silver is down 5.6%. These kind of candles do damage to a chart. These kind of candles are the ones, like yesterday where everybody had to be in. Feels like it could have been, a little bit of upside capitulation. Is the gold rally officially over? Probably not. We're still at the printing press and it's defensive and people are looking for alternatives to the US dollar. But with digital gold, as weak as it has been with Bitcoin, it's surprising that physical gold is so strong. It's also surprising that physical gold has been so strong with markets making new all-time highs. It's like gold all of a sudden is positively correlated with the S&P, which has not been the case for years. It's always been no correlation. That's why gold, it's kind of doing its own thing. That's not been the case lately. So what are you concerned about the move here this morning in GLD, Joel? Because it's a significant move down.
This is a big move down. It does this. It gives you a warning shot. This is the big bar. This is bigger than any of the up days that it's had. We'll see. It's currently trading off the pre-market low. The dollar is showing some strength here. But once again, I mean, if you just think that, wow, well, this is a great run. This is just an immediate dip to buy. Man, maybe let's see when it stops going down and see where there's some potential consolidation here, because looking at this GLD, I mean, this is just, you look at this, like 340 to over 400. So it is concerned, but this market's not concerned about whatever GLD. So we'll sell some of our GLD and we'll buy Apple, or we'll get out of gold and we'll go buy something else. I mean, that's been the lifeblood of this market. And, why is it going to stop today? I don't know. We'll see where
go to
where the
silver
rotation
too,
goes.
because I have a concern with silver, and it's a serious concern here, because back in 2009, I think it was, I'm going back a lot of years ago. I don't know if you can go that far back on SLV.
I can.
But if you can, go back. It might have even been before that. It might have been back in like the 2002s, 2003. Oh, you can. Look at where we topped in 2011 on SLV. Look at the exact level. We're going back here, folks. But that in 2011, I believe, was $49 silver. $49 on the SLV. Where did we top 3 days ago? 49 and a quarter. So don't call it a double top yet, because we don't know if it's going to go through it. But there is the potential for a huge, enormous 14-year double top in SLV. So if you're buying SLV at 49, when it just ran from 35 2 months ago, this is not some AI growth name. This is silver. This is a commodity. It's like a thing that sits, it's heavy metal. Silver. 35 to 49 is an incredible move here. And you're buying it, if you're buying up here 46, 47, 48, it is right where that 2011 highs were. I'd be a seller of silver off those 2011 highs. And I think the market might actually be now concerned with it with this 5% down move.
Yeah, the GLD is a little bit different of a story. That did exceed its all-time high by more. You know what we'll do? We'll dig up Mish. I know she's doing some traveling. I know that she's been on the silver trade and the commodity trade. So we'll dial her up in a week or two and get her thoughts on this historic rally in silver and gold. Silver playing catch up and finally playing catch up today. Dow, that's down 5.6% and GLD down 4%.
Final thoughts here. Very mixed market. S&P's just meandering here, doing nothing. Obviously, earnings driving the bus. We are in earnings season. You're going to see earnings continue to drive the bus. Home builders are getting whacked here today. We got Pulte Home trading down 7 points and Lennar. So you can see there's some pockets of weakness, but then there's pockets of strength too. Auto's doing good off the GM report here as well. And then it's just mixed. I look at tech and it's very mixed. You know, Apple, Tesla a little bit weak. Amazon having an okay morning. Netflix is up ahead of its reports here tonight. So mixed market at best here, but I think, you know, rotation is still going to be in play, you know, rotation station. So keep an eye. If it's going to be a value type of day, maybe off of General Motors back, maybe that's not necessarily good for tech, but we'll see because the home builders value trades too, and they're down significantly.
Yesterday's high, right 2 points below today, the current high in the S&Ps right up here. We're like, if you were freaking out a week ago Friday when the market had that big decline off the tweet, we've come all the way back. We have come all the way back. So, you know, if you had regretted not doing stuff and got back up here and consolidated, here's your chance. Right up near, back near all-time highs. A big day for the bulls here. I think the bulls get us, keep us bid here, barrel through that 67.85 and take a shot at the all-time high. But that's it for today, folks. Thanks for joining us on Pre-Market Prep. You know where to find us tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.